This video is the 25th part in my project to recreate Kings Island in Parkitect. In this part, I focus my attention on recreating Flight of Fear at Kings Island. Flight of Fear opened at Kings Island on June 18th, 1996. When Flight of Fear opened at Kings Island and set the world record for the fastest acceleration on a roller coaster. Flight of Fear stands 74.2 feet tall with a top speed of 54 miles per hour and 2,705 feet of track. Flight of Fear has 4 inversions and the ride pulls 4.5 vertical G-forces. It's a pretty forceful ride. As I'm sure you know, this roller coaster is entirely indoors. The ride structure is enclosed in a very large building themed to look like a government facility. So the first order of business for this part of the project is recreating the ride building, as you can see. First, I'm starting with the section of the building that will be the lockers, the entrance, and the beginning of the queue. Next is the large queue room with the flying saucer prop and the wall of mirrors. It would be a little difficult to recreate this effect in Parkitect, plus you won't be able to see it from the outside, so I'm just leaving this as a normal queue. And then the 2 final rooms of this huge building are of course the ride station and the ride layout. And now that the basic shape of the ride building is finished, I can begin work on the ride layout. Due to the way the coaster builder in Parkitect works, I am unable to place a station at a 45-degree angle, so I had to put an immediate 45-degree turn out of the station. I know Flight of Fear doesn't have a turn out of the station in real life, but you'll just have to ignore this. And here's a look at the recreation of the launch track for the 54-mile-per-hour launch. I know the ride is orange right now, but that's just the way the ride type is by default. Don't worry, I changed the ride to its gray color like it is in real life. And now, once the colors are fixed, it's time for the Cobra Roll and the Sidewinder. These 3 inversions on the ride are super forceful and a lot of fun. In my opinion, that's the best part of the ride. It has a great start. Just a reminder, you can feel free to use any of these rides you see in these videos in your own park in Parkitect. There's a link to my page on the Steam Workshop in the description of this video. All the rides you see in these videos are available for download for free. As you can see, at times I really struggled recreating this layout. Flight of Fear's layout is very tight and compact with sharp turns, sudden drops, and a lot of strange angles. These were pretty difficult to recreate with the Parkitect Coaster Builder. The Parkitect Coaster Builder limits you to 45 and 90-degree angles on the turns, and a very small selection of angles for the drops. In some areas of the layout I had to use the mod Track Edit because it allowed for a larger variety of angles. After a lot of trial and error, I have a layout that's pretty accurate to the real-life counterpart. Now it's not 100% accurate and there are some differences, but overall I'm pretty happy with it. And now that the layout and all of the track work for the ride are finished, it's time to resume work on the ride building and of course, the queue. Most of my time on this part of the project was spent on the ride building and the queue just because of how long and extensive the queue is and how detailed the ride building is. A fun fact about the ride, Flight of Fear originally opened as Outer Limits Flight of Fear. It was themed to the Outer Limits TV show back when Paramount owned Kings Island. As you can see though, most of the Outer Limits branding has been stripped away from the ride, and it is now just Flight of Fear. This ride also opened with over-the-shoulder restraints, but for the 2001 season it was replaced with lap bars. To this day, the lap bars provide a much more comfortable ride experience. I could not imagine riding this ride with bulky over-the-shoulder restraints. That would just be awful. Flight of Fear also originally had 4 trains, each with 6 cars. However, today, the ride only operates with 2 trains, each with 5 cars. I'm not sure what the reason is for this change, but I'm sure it doesn't help capacity. Ideally, the coaster would have 3 or more trains on the track at a time. 1 in the station, 1 on the ride course, 1 on the brakes, and 1 in the unload station. Usually, I only see Flight of Fear running 2 trains at a time, which is why I imagine this ride has some of the longest lines in the park. Nonetheless, this is a great ride, and definitely worth the wait sometimes. And now, I'm just adding some finishing touches to the ride building. I'm adding some details like the crooked lamp, the fenced off area, the van, and the crashed meteor. These are all theming elements that were added when Orion was added to the park. There's a crashed meteor, a damaged lamp, and a government van. These all tie in with the Area 72 theme, and really tie this part of the park together. And now I'm just adding a roof to the ride building, and the queue building, and the building's just about complete. And here is the finished product. This is my recreation of Flight of Fear in Parkitect in action. Well, that's all for this part of the project. Next, I'm going to work on Orion and then the other buildings in Area 72. If you'd like to see more parts of this project, there's a link to the playlist in the description of this video. Like always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.